Adab everyone, welcome to this 36th edition of the 365 Days of Tabla, a series in which we learn about the art, the craft, and the legacy of one of the most beautiful instruments of Indian classical music, tabla. Today, in today's episode, we're going to learn about bols or the syllables of tabla. The music of North India is based on oral tradition or Maukhik Parampara. In this tradition, mnemonic syllables are used to teach compositions, learnings, and communications of a repertoire. These syllables are called bols. Now, previously, we had learned a few bols such as ba, na, teji, tuna. So you may think that ba is this sound called dha and not some other name as ka or ku. And why is this sound called tuna and not tina? So that we need to understand the basic characteristics of bols. Bols are basically sound mimicking syllables. It mimics the sound that has been produced. It mirrors the attack. It mirrors the damping, the timbre. I don't know whether I'm pronouncing it rightly. Fibber. The resonance. So these bols are basically an imitation of the sound that has been produced. Like for example, this sound, dha, the word dha, it mirrors this sound. The reason why it mirrors the sound is because the word dha represents resonance, depth. So that is very much evident from when you listen to this sound. The resonance and the depth is there. So the word dha actually resonates with the sound. It actually imitates the sound that is being produced on tabla. And that is the reason why musicians or ancestors have used this word dha to represent this sound. Similarly, sounds such as these sounds, they represent the sliding of the finger, the quick stroke, and the quick decay. As you can see, this is the resonance is not as much as this sound. The decay is pretty quick. The attack is swift and the decay is quick. So the word tu matches the sound that is being produced over it. Not ti, but tu. That is the reason why we say dhate te dhate te dha dhate te dhage tu na kata. The reason why we say this is because the word dhake te dada te dhage tu na karta resembles the sound that has been produced over here. There are basic three principles on which bowls are created. Namely, 1. Point of contact, the way you're placing your hand or your fingers on the tabla, whether it is on the kinar, the medan, the sihai, the other side of the medan, whether you're covering the sihai or you're half covering the sihai with your finger. All of this is basically the way you're placing or you're placing your fingers on the tabla. Then the method of excitation, like for example, terekete, the excitation, the way you are playing, the way you are placing your fingers to produce this sound, that has to be noted again. And lastly, the resonance produced. So basically, there are three major aspects used by the ancestors to determine which bone is to use for which sound. The first one is point of contact. The point of contact, the method of execution, the method of excitation, and the resonance produced. So these are the three major components used to determine a sound. Now, there are two kinds of sound. The first one is plosive. Plosive sound, P-L-O-S-I-V. Plosive sound are sounds which have quick attack and quick decay. And they are crisp, such as na, tik, ke, q. These sounds are a tan pace, they quickly decay, and they're crisp. Then there is resonant sound. These are voice-based sounds. So these sounds such as ge, ba, gara, gera, these sounds are resonance-based sounds. So as you can see, these are the two sounds. The plosive sound, which is these are the plosive sounds. The resonant sounds, which are voice-based sounds. These are voice-based sounds. They have resonance in them, continuity in them. The resonance continuity is there. The use of baya is there. The decay is much delayed. We've got a delayed decay. Unlike the plosive sound, these resonant sounds have delayed decays, such as ye. This decay is far delayed than this one. It has quick decay. This has quick decay, whereas these have delayed decays. So these are the two major aspects of sound, the plosive and the resonant sounds. So you can also say that these are the major components of bowls. such as the plosive component and the resonance component. Now, you may think that why is it so complicated? Why is it like tha? Why is it pain? Why is it ta? Why is it te? Why can't we use hi, hello, how are you? Why can't we use the English alphabets or the Hindi alphabets or the Sanskrit alphabets for the recitation? The reason why we can't use these alphabets because bowls are structured in rhythmic neutrality. That means it has to be if you're creating a bowl, it has to be rhythmically neutral. It has to be when you recite it, whether you recite it on a low tempo or the high tempo, it should be fine. You should be able to recite it clearly. The clarity of bowls when recited in high tempo or in low tempo should be the same. It should depict the resonance of the sound that has been produced. So like the imitation of the resonance, imitation of the sound has to be there. And there should be breath efficiency. These, like, let me give you an example for this. Gena teke gena dade tuna. Datekte dabe tuna. Datekte dage tuna kata gena teke gena take tuna. Datekte dabe tuna. Datekte dage tuna kata. This is in Rupak. So, as you can see, the sound is rhythmically neutral. And if I speak this in a higher tempo, the syllables will not change. Gena take gena take tuna, datekte dage tuna, datekte dage tuna peta gena take gena take tuna, datekte dage tuna, datekte dage tuna peta gena take gena take tuna, datekte dage tuna, datekte dage tuna peta gena take gena take tuna, datekte dage tuna, datekte dage tuna peta. If I speak this, if I recite this in a very low tempo, even then the continuity will not break. Gena te gena dage tuna, dake te dage tuna. Da ke te da ke tuna kata ke na te na ta ke tuna ta ke te ta ke tuna ta ke te ta ke tuna kata. So this is rhythmically neutral. The continuity does not break with the tempo. It is also breath efficient. Like when I'm reciting this bowl, whether I recite it in the high tempo or in the low tempo, my breath is fine. I have complete control over my breath. There is nothing. I'm not getting breathless. Whereas if I say, hi, how are you? In a fast tempo, I might get breathless. It can also be jumbled up, fumbled up. Like if I say, hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? That's good. But if I raise the tempo, hi, how are you? How are you? How are you? That is something which is uncomprehendable. If we speak, that is the reason why the maestros, the solvers, have used these bowls, which are rhythmically neutral. They do not change when the tempo is high or when the tempo is low. They are breath efficient, and they also imitate the resonance perfectly. So this is the major reason why these bowls are used. In the end, I would like to say this, that bowls are not conversations. It is basically the recitation of sound. It is a recitation, not a storytelling of an instrument. It is not a conversation. It is not meant for condensation. It is basically a humble prayer, a recitation, a mimicry of one of the most beautiful concepts created by humankind, and that is music. One of the most divine concepts created by human music. So with this, I would like to conclude our 36th episode. Also, if you wish to learn the traditional art of tabla from the 33rd descendant of Farrukhadad Kharana, Usai Sabi Khasa, then you can contact. The details are given at the end of this video. Once again, I would like to thank each and every one of you for joining. See you tomorrow. Thank you.